All right, we're back. What did Coach Mike Smiatek mean for high school football? I know what he meant for a broadcaster, what he meant to me, but from a coach's standpoint, he was rock solid.
What he did off the field for his kids, for his players, no one really knows because he would not advertise.
No.
And the thing that really just hurts in this whole mess is Coach loves Aliquippa and he loves the players, and he's not going to say one thing about it. But you have people like Joe Hamilton that go to the school board who competed against him and who's won. Both of these guys have won tremendous amounts of games, and you just think, you know, how can this happen? And I'm still stunned, very disappointed. But in today's world, people want to know only what they want to hear, and not the entire truth. And you know, Z was so much more than a football and a basketball coach to Aliquippa, and really, you know, as a young coach coming up and watching him and how he was disciplined with his players, and how he ran his programs, and how I love the fact that if you look back, some young guys, if they've got a lot of players, they're going to flaunt it and they're going to run the score up on people. I mean, he never did that.
Just remember, this is a team that could have played single A football for years. He wanted to challenge his young men. He did double A, and then he ended his career as their coach. 10 consecutive WPIAL championship games in AAA. I think that, ladies and gentlemen.
And for the record,
yes,
I've been in his office many, many times, and the lie that was put out there by the school board that he doesn't help players is absolutely false. He did more for players than people realize.
Incredible coach and an incredible human being, and a great teacher too. Now, they're teaching, hopefully, these young men things they're going to need to get them to play on Sundays. And Aliquippa's had a few of those. 40-yard dash, bench press, 20-yard shuttle, 3-cone drill, the vertical and broad jump, running backs, cone drills, foot movement, best efforts, Christian McCafferty, 6.57 seconds, 2017. Le'Veon Bell, the former Steeler, 6.5 seconds, 2013. Doug Martin, 6.79 seconds, 2012. So why cone drill so important? Foot movement for a running back.
Well, foot movement, you know, absolutely with running backs, it's this whole idea of just seeing explosiveness, and you know, I think that drill will absolutely show it.
Edge rushers burst along with directional versatility, balance, body control, flexibility. Simply being fast and strong is not enough, so that's why this drill works for them too.
You know, when you're going to talk about Bruce Irvin from West Virginia, the thing that we talk about in football is get off. How are these people getting off the line of scrimmage? Because it's all about quickness. When people talk about edge rushers, the NFL is a quarterbacks league, so you got to have people to be able to, you know, get pressure on quarterbacks and help them make the decision in the least amount of time to be an effective defense.
Irvin, 6.70 seconds, 2012. Von Miller, the great linebacker, Denver Broncos, 6.70, 2011. Okay, now to the vertical jump. Wide receivers. The higher they jump, the better their chances making it to the NFL and sticking around. Devontae Adams, 39 inches, 0.5, 2014. Allen Robinson, 39 inches, same year. Odell Beckham Jr., 38.5 inches, same year. Julio Jones of Atlanta, 38.5 inches, 2011. Tight ends, one would think it's more about strength, such as bench presses, which is important, but the vertical is also very important. And these are tight ends we're talking about. Jimmy Graham, 38.5 inches, 2010, and Vernon Davis, 42 inches in 2006. Who would have ever thought? You think Mike Ditka could have jumped that high?
I'm not going to answer that question. I'm still intimidated by Mike Ditka.
Me too. But why is that so important for tight ends in this game today?
Well, tight ends that play wide receiver positions, they move, offensive coordinators move them around. I mean, you get a mismatch. You know, let's face it, Gronk's always used the example, but those two guys that you talked about, are very much applicable to what we're talking about. You take that big body and put it out there in a 5'10" corner, and you got a mismatch. Well, you take that big body, and all of a sudden you got a kid that can jump out of the dome, and you throw a pass across the middle, and the linebacker's not going to be able to jump like that.
In closing, before we move on to the 40-yard dash, it's rarefied air. I mean, it's another part of the field, right?
Yes, it is. It is. Very nice. I'm impressed. I'm going to use that.
Someplace I will never be. I have a hard enough time getting out of this chair. Now,
you know, my vertical was best when we wore those kinds of shoes in the late 70s.
Just a couple of more. By the way, NFL Network with all the coverage. Greg Dale, Advantage Management Group, part of the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show, is there, and we'll recap everything Sunday at 11 with him. You got the 40-yard dash. Lane Johnson, 4.72 seconds, 2013. Still incredible. We all know why that's important in the game. Interior offensive linemen and defensive tackles, broad jump, lower body strength, so that's important for them too.
Oh, absolutely. These kids are just the strength component of what these kids can do, and you see guys, repping out 225. It's scary.
Last thing, shuttle run for linebackers, how quickly they can read and react to moving players. Explain that to the audience.
Well, the linebacker position is truthful. It truly is. It's the running back position. It's the tailback position of the defense. I'm just thinking right now, Miles Jack, that kid can run. I mean, Ryan Shazier can run,
right?
And we've talked about it from week to week. But you got linebackers that can run like running backs, and they still have to tackle, at the line of scrimmage. So it's a great position.
Great television. I absolutely love it. I hope you'll tune in, and we'll be talking about it throughout the week. And now for the coach, Gino DeMarco, and everyone here on the campus, high on the hill that is College Hill, in that great community of Beaver Falls, we bid you a very fond farewell and good night.